In the morning when I rise, give me Jesus.
Good morning. Well, yesterday we saw that the disciples had been walking with Jesus and they were committed to him. Jesus said, they're going to take me away and I'm going to be killed. And Peter said, oh, Lord, even if I have to die with you, I'm not going to deny you. But Jesus said, Peter, the rooster's going to crow twice. And before that happens, you will have denied me 3 times. Well, we know that he did, but we'll talk about that some other time. The other disciples were just like Peter. They said, Jesus, we're with you, man. It doesn't matter what they do to us. We're going to be hanging with you through whatever happens. Well, none of them did. They scattered just like Jesus said they would, and we would have too, because flesh is weak. Oh, we've got to go spirit. We've got to see things from a spiritual standpoint. Our strength is in the joy of the Lord. Our strength is in walking in unity with him so that it's his strength, his faith, his abundant life living through us. That's real Christianity. That's what's available to us. It's not about going to heaven when you die. Oh, that's a nice side benefit, but it's about experiencing things of the kingdom in the here and now. Well, today we're in Mark 14, and we're going to see how Jesus prayed in the garden. And quite often, I hear this scripture used to justify dumbing down prayer and minimizing our authority as children of the Most High God. So let's look at this today and clear up some misunderstandings. I'm in Mark chapter 14, and I'm going to read verses 32 through 36, and they say this. They came to a place named Gethsemane, and he said to his disciples, sit here until I have prayed. And then he took with him Peter and James and John, and he began to be very distressed and troubled, because he knew what was coming. Well, he said to them, my soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. Remain here and keep watch for me. And then he went a little beyond them and fell to the ground and began to pray that if it were possible, this hour might pass him by. Okay, here's what he's praying. God, I don't want to do this. Is there any other way? You wouldn't want to go through this either. He knew what was coming. Look at verse 36. He was saying, Abba, Father, Dad. Jesus is saying, Dad. Oh, he told us we need to call him Dad too. Dad, all things are possible for you. I know you could change this. Remove this cup from me. I'm talking about my will here. I don't want to do this. However, not what I will, but what you will. I'll do what you say, Dad. You need to know I don't want to do this, but I'm going to follow you. And he's glad he did. It was for the joy set before him, other scripture said. See, it's a bigger picture than what we can see in the natural. And so when we look at things in the natural, we ask for things to change, and then we say, if it be your will. And then they say, well, see, Jesus said it right here, if it be your will. That's not what he said. Jesus knew what the Father's will was. And Jesus was saying, oh, my will doesn't match up right now, but I will align my will with your will. You're the authority, and so what you say goes. And so he's not praying a wimpy prayer that says, I'm afraid that I don't know what's going to happen, so I will tack on, if it be your will. That way, if it doesn't happen, I can say, well, it must not have been God's will. That is not prayer. Pray boldly, pray believing. No, Jesus knew what the Father's will was. He was just asking the Father to see if he could find another way. Oh, it's okay to tell the Father what you want, but the best for you is what the Father wills. And so end your prayer not with, if it be your will. End the prayer with, even though I don't want to, I will follow you. as you lead me wherever you go. My answer to you is yes, no matter what the question is. Well, that's real faith. I look forward to being with you tomorrow. I'll see you then.
Give me Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have all this world, but give me Jesus.